The baby wouldn't stop crying. Noel pressed the infant closer to his chest, felt the tiny mouth latch and unlatch, desperate but too tired to commit. The hospital room smelled like bleach and something metallic he couldn't name. His body ached in places he didn't know could ache. The borrowed shirt they'd given him was too big, kept sliding off one shoulder, exposing skin that felt too visible, too raw. He tried to hum. His voice cracked. The baby's cry thinned into something worse. A sound that said, "I've already learned you can't fix this." Noel's hands shook. He adjusted his hold, tried again. The baby latched. Finally, the pull was strange, invasive, necessary. He stared at the blank wall across from him because looking down felt like drowning. Someone had been in the room earlier. A woman in a gray suit. She'd smiled with her mouth, but not her eyes. Asked questions Noel answered wrong. Wrote things down on a tablet he wasn't allowed to see. She'd left 20 minutes ago. Or maybe an hour. Time moved wrong here. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. The bassinet beside the bed was hospital issued. White plastic, metal frame, no name card in the slot at the front. Noel had checked 3 times. His own wristband said ASHRYN. Noel, postpartum observation. But the baby's bassinet was blank. Just a barcode sticker on the corner and a number he didn't understand. He told himself it didn't mean anything. He told himself they'd fix it in the morning. But his instincts, the ones that kept him alive this long, said otherwise. The door to the room was halfway open. It had been closed earlier. He didn't remember anyone opening it. Nurses passed by in the hallway, their shoes making soft squeaks on the linoleum. None of them looked in. They used to look in. The first day, they checked on him every hour. Now it had been 4 hours since anyone spoke to him. Noel shifted his weight on the bed. His lower back screamed. He bit his lip, kept quiet. Complaining made things worse. It always made things worse. The baby's breathing evened out. Asleep, finally. Noel let his head tip back against the pillow, closed his eyes for just a second. Footsteps. Not the soft squeak of nurse shoes. Heavy. Deliberate. The kind of footsteps that didn't ask permission. Noel's eyes snapped open. The footsteps stopped outside his door. He couldn't see who it was. The angle was wrong. But he felt the shift in the air, the way the hallway noise seemed to pull back, like the hospital itself was holding its breath. A shadow stretched across the floor just outside the doorway. Tall, broad-shouldered, unmoving. Noel's pulse hammered in his throat. He looked down at the baby, made sure the blanket covered him fully, made sure his own shirt was pulled up enough to be decent. His fingers felt numb. The shadow didn't move. Seconds crawled by. Then, a voice from farther down the hall. A nurse, maybe. "Sir, do you need assistance?" No response. Noel stopped breathing. The shadow shifted. Not away. Closer. And then the door swung open. The man who stepped inside wasn't a doctor. Wasn't a nurse. Wasn't anyone Noel recognized. He was tall, taller than the doorway seemed built for. His suit was dark, expensive, the kind that didn't wrinkle. His face was unreadable, carved from stone. But his eyes, deep brown, almost black, locked onto Noel with the kind of focus that made prey freeze. Noel didn't move, didn't speak. Every survival instinct he had screamed, "Don't make a sound." The man's gaze dropped to the baby, lingered, then returned to Noel. He didn't smile, didn't frown, just looked. Behind him, 2 more figures appeared in the doorway. Security, maybe, or something worse. They didn't enter, just stood there, blocking the exit. Noel's mouth went dry. His arms tightened around the baby on instinct, even though he knew it wouldn't matter. If this man wanted to take the child, there was nothing Noel could do to stop him. The man finally spoke. His voice was low, controlled. "Who told you that you could keep him?" Noel blinked. His brain stuttered over the question. No one. I didn't. Did someone tell you that you had rights here?" "I don't." Noel's voice cracked. He swallowed, tried again. "I'm his mother." The man's expression didn't change. "No," he said quietly. "You're not." The words hit like a fist. Noel opened his mouth, but nothing came out. The man stepped closer, not threatening, not comforting, just observing, like Noel was a problem he was deciding how to solve. "What's his name?" the man asked. Noel looked down at the baby. He didn't have a name yet. They wouldn't let him fill out the birth certificate. Said there were procedures that needed to happen first. Said someone else would handle it. "I don't know," Noel whispered. The man nodded slowly, like that confirmed something. He reached into his jacket pocket. Noel flinched, but the man only pulled out a phone, glanced at the screen, then put it away. "Get some rest," the man said. His tone hadn't changed. Still flat, still unreadable. He turned toward the door. Noel's voice came out before he could stop it. "What's going to happen to him?" The man paused, didn't turn around. "That depends," he said. "On what?" The man looked back over his shoulder. His eyes were colder now, emptier. "On whether or not you disappear quietly." And then he left. The two figures in the hallway followed. The door swung shut behind them with a soft click. Noel sat frozen, the baby still asleep in his arms, his heart slamming against his ribs so hard it hurt. He looked down at the bassinet again, at the empty name slot, and for the first time since the baby was born, Noel understood. This child was never meant to be his. He sat on the edge of the hospital bed, the baby cradled against his chest, and watched the door, waiting for it to open again, waiting for someone to come and take what little he had left. The room was too quiet now. The hallway outside had gone still. No more footsteps, no more voices, just the hum of the fluorescent lights overhead and the faint beep of a monitor 2 rooms down. He tried to remember what the man had looked like. Tall, yes. Expensive suit. But his face kept slipping away in Noel's memory, like his mind didn't want to hold on to it. All he could remember clearly were the eyes. Cold, calculating, the kind of eyes that didn't blink when they made decisions. The baby stirred. Noel rocked him gently, whispered something that wasn't quite words. His throat was too tight for real sentences. A nurse passed by the door. Noel watched her through the gap. She didn't look in, didn't slow down, just kept walking like his room didn't exist. That was new. Before tonight, they checked on him constantly, asked if he needed water, if the baby was feeding okay, if he was in pain. Now nothing. Noel's stomach twisted. He looked down at the baby's face. So small, so fragile, innocent in a way that made Noel's chest ache. This child didn't ask to be born into this. Didn't ask for any of it. Neither did Noel. The door opened. Noel's breath caught. He pulled the baby closer, ready to what? Run? Fight? He couldn't even stand without his legs shaking. But it wasn't the man from before. It was a woman, mid-50s maybe, gray hair pulled into a tight bun. She wore scrubs, but they looked newer than the other nurses. Cleaner. She carried a clipboard and didn't smile. "Noel Ashrin?" she said. He nodded. She stepped inside, let the door close behind her. Her eyes flicked to the baby, then back to Noel. "I'm Diane. I'm here to go over some things with you." "What things?" She pulled a chair closer to the bed, sat down without asking. "Discharge paperwork, care instructions, follow-up appointments." Noel blinked. "I'm being discharged? Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. But..." He looked down at the baby. "I don't have anywhere to go." Diane's expression didn't change. She clicked her pen, made a note on the clipboard. "That's been arranged." "What do you mean, arranged?" "You'll be transferred to a temporary residence. It's part of the program." "What program?" Diane looked up. Her eyes were flat, professional. "The one you signed up for." Noel's pulse kicked. "I didn't sign up for anything. You signed the intake forms when you arrived. Consent for care. Consent for housing assistance." Noel's voice shook. "I was in labor. I didn't read." "That's not my concern." Diane made another note. "Transportation will arrive at 7:30 a.m. You'll need to be ready." "What if I don't go?" Diane's pen stopped. She looked at him. really looked at him for the first time, and there was something in her face that wasn't quite pity, more like resignation. "Then the baby stays here," she said quietly. Noel's world tilted. "What? You're a minor, Noel. 18 as of last month. No legal guardian. No permanent address. No income." She gestured to the baby. "The state has an obligation to ensure this child is placed in a stable environment." "I'm stable. Are you?" The question hung in the air like smoke. Noel couldn't answer, because they both knew the truth. Diane stood. 7:30. "Be ready." She left before Noel could say anything else. He sat there, the baby's weight warm against his chest, and felt the walls close in. The night stretched on. Noel tried to sleep, couldn't. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the man's face, heard his voice. "Did someone tell you that you had rights here?" He didn't know what rights he had, didn't know what he'd signed. Didn't know anything except that he was in a place where people moved him like furniture and made decisions about his life without asking. At some point, the baby woke up crying. Noel fed him again, changed him with the supplies the hospital provided, rocked him until he settled. The motions were automatic now, muscle memory from 3 days of doing this over and over. But it didn't feel real. None of it felt real. At 6 a.m., the lights in the hallway brightened. Shift change. Noel heard voices, footsteps, the metallic rattle of a meal cart being wheeled past. No one brought him food. At 7:15, Diane returned. She didn't knock, just walked in with a plastic bag and set it on the bed. "Clothes," she said. "Yours were discarded." Noel stared at the bag. He didn't remember having clothes when he arrived. Just the blood-soaked pants and the shirt someone had cut off him in the delivery room. "Get dressed," Diane said. "They'll be here soon." "Who?" She didn't answer. Just left. Noel opened the bag with one hand, the baby still tucked in his other arm. Inside were plain clothes, a pair of jeans that looked too big, a gray sweatshirt, socks, underwear still in the package. Everything generic, like he was being erased. He dressed slowly, awkwardly, tried not to jostle the baby too much. His body protested every movement, but he didn't have a choice. At exactly 7:30, the door opened again. This time it wasn't a nurse. It was the man. The same one from last night. He stood in the doorway, silent, and looked at Noel like he was evaluating a purchase. Noel's heart stopped. The man stepped inside, closed the door behind him. "My name is Silas Blackmoor," he said. His voice was calm, too calm. "And you're coming with me." Noel didn't move, couldn't. Silas's eyes dropped to the baby. "Both of you? Why?" The word came out barely a whisper. Silas didn't answer right away. He walked closer, stopped a few feet from the bed. Close enough that Noel could see the sharp line of his jaw, the faint scar above his left eyebrow. "Because," Silas said quietly, "if you stay here, you'll lose him by noon." Noel's breath hitched. "How do you know that?" Silas's expression didn't change. "Because I'm the one who's supposed to take him." The car was black, sleek, the kind of vehicle Noel had only seen in movies. It idled in the hospital's back loading zone, engine silent, windows tinted so dark he couldn't see inside. Silas opened the rear door, gestured for Noel to get in. Noel hesitated. His arms tightened around the baby. Every instinct told him to run. But where? He had no money, no phone, no one who'd answer if he called. "I'm not going to hurt you," Silas said. Noel looked at him, searched his face for the lie. But Silas just stood there, patient, waiting. Noel got in the car. The interior smelled like leather and something faintly sweet. Cedar, maybe. The seats were soft, too soft. Noel sank into the cushion, felt the baby shift in his arms. Silas slid into the seat beside him. The door closed with a solid thunk. A moment later, the car pulled away from the curb. Noel watched the hospital disappear through the rear window. Watched the only place he'd known for the past 3 days fade into the distance. "Where are we going?" he asked. "Somewhere safe." "That's not an answer." Silas glanced at him. No, it's not. Noel bit his lip, looked down at the baby. The infant was asleep again, tiny fist curled against Noel's chest. The car turned onto a main road. Buildings blurred past. Noel didn't recognize the area, didn't know if they were heading north or south or east or west. What happens when we get there? Noel asked. You rest. You recover. The baby gets what he needs. And then, Silas didn't answer. The silence stretched. Noel's pulse hammered. He wanted to scream, wanted to demand answers. But something about the way Silas sat, perfectly still, perfectly controlled, made Noel keep his mouth shut. They drove for 20 minutes. The buildings changed, got taller, nicer. The streets were cleaner here. Trees lined the sidewalks. People in business suits walked with coffee cups, unbothered. The car turned into a private drive, stopped in front of a building that looked more like a mansion than a house. 3 stories, stone facade, tall windows with curtains drawn. Silas got out first, opened Noel's door. Noel stared up at the building. What is this place? Home, Silas said. Whose home? Mine. Noel's stomach dropped. I'm not staying in your house. Yes, Silas said quietly. You are. Inside, the house was worse. Not worse like dirty or dangerous. Worse like perfect. The floors were polished wood. The walls were painted soft gray. The furniture looked expensive but unused, like it was staged for a magazine shoot. Everything matched. Everything gleamed. Felt like a museum. A woman appeared from a side hallway. Older. 50s, maybe. She wore a plain black dress and had the kind of face that gave nothing away. This is Marlene, Silas said. She manages the house. Marlene nodded once. Her eyes flicked to the baby, then back to Silas. The room is ready. Good. Silas gestured for Noel to follow. They climbed a staircase. Wide, carpeted, silent, and stopped on the second floor. Silas opened a door at the end of the hall. The room inside was large. Too large. A queen-size bed sat against one wall. A dresser, a rocking chair by the window, and in the corner a crib. Brand new, white wood, spotless. Noel's chest tightened. This is where you'll stay, Silas said. Noel didn't move, just stood in the doorway, holding the baby, staring at the crib that looked like it cost more than everything he'd ever owned combined. I don't understand, he said. You don't need to. Yes, I do. Noel's voice shook. I need to know what you want from me. Silas turned to face him fully. His expression was unreadable. I don't want anything from you. Then why am I here? Because you needed help, and I could provide it. People don't just do that. I do. Noel stared at him, searched for the catch, the angle, the price he'd have to pay later. But Silas's face gave nothing away. There's food in the kitchen, Silas said. Marlene will show you. If you need anything, tell her. What about you? I have work. When will you be back? Silas paused in the doorway, looked back over his shoulder. Tonight. And then he was gone. Noel stood alone in the silent room, the baby warm in his arms, and felt the weight of the locked cage settle around him. The first day passed in a blur. Marlene brought food. Soup, bread, a glass of water. She didn't speak much, just set the tray on the dresser, asked if Noel needed anything, and left when he said no. Noel ate because his body demanded it, fed the baby because the baby cried, changed diapers with the supplies that had been stocked in the room, unopened packages, everything sterile, everything provided. He didn't leave the room, not because he was told not to, but because he didn't know what would happen if he did. By the second day, the silence was unbearable. Noel paced the room with the baby, counted the steps from the bed to the window. 12 steps. He did it over and over. 12 steps. Turn. 12 steps back. The window overlooked a garden. Manicured hedges. Stone pathways. No people. On the third day, Marlene knocked before entering. Mr. Blackmoor would like to see you, she said. Noel's pulse spiked. Why? He didn't say. Noel followed her downstairs, the baby tucked against his chest. They walked through hallways that all looked the same, turned corners that Noel knew he'd never remember. They stopped outside a door. Marlene knocked once, then opened it. Inside was an office, dark wood, tall bookshelves, a desk that looked like it weighed more than Noel. Silas sat behind the desk, reading something on a tablet. He looked up when Noel entered. "Sit," he said. Noel sat in the chair across from him, held the baby tighter. Silas set the tablet down, folded his hands on the desk. "How are you feeling?" "Fine." "That's a lie." Noel's jaw tightened. "What do you want me to say?" "The truth." "I don't know you. Why would I tell you the truth?" Silas's expression didn't change. "Fair." Silence. Noel shifted in the chair. The baby stirred but didn't wake. "Why am I here?" Noel asked again. "I told you." "No. You gave me a reason. Not the truth." Silas leaned back in his chair, studied Noel with those unreadable eyes. "Someone was going to take him from you," Silas said quietly. "I made sure that didn't happen. Why do you care?" Silas didn't answer right away. His gaze dropped to the baby. Something flickered across his face, too fast for Noel to name. "Because I know what it's like to lose someone you can't protect," Silas said. Noel's breath caught. Before he could respond, the office door opened. A man stepped inside. Older, balding, expensive suit. He smiled when he saw Silas, but the smile didn't reach his eyes. "Silas," the man said. "Didn't know you had company." Silas's posture shifted, just slightly, but Noel felt it. The air in the room grew colder. "Vernon," Silas said. His voice was flat. Vernon's gaze slid to Noel, lingered on the baby. His smile widened. "Well," Vernon said softly, "isn't this cozy?" And Noel's stomach turned to ice. Vernon didn't leave. He stood in the doorway like he owned the space, hands in his pockets, that same too-wide smile plastered on his face. His eyes stayed on the baby. Noel wanted to disappear. "I didn't realize you were taking in strays now," Vernon said. He laughed. It sounded wrong. Wet. Silas stood slowly. "What do you want, Vernon?" "Just checking in. Making sure everything's handled." "It is. Good. Good." Vernon stepped further into the room. Noel pulled the baby closer. Vernon noticed. His smile grew. "Cute kid. How old?" Noel didn't answer. Vernon's gaze shifted to Silas. "This the one from the hospital?" Silas didn't respond. Vernon whistled low. "Didn't think you'd actually go through with it. Thought you'd just sign off and let the system do its thing. Plans changed." "I can see that." Vernon moved closer to Noel's chair. Noel's skin crawled. "So what's the arrangement here? You playing house now? That's none of your concern, isn't it?" Vernon tilted his head. "I mean, I'm the one who filed the initial report, set up the intake, did the paperwork." Noel's heart slammed against his ribs. "You?" The word came out before he could stop it. Vernon looked down at him. His smile never wavered. "That's right, sweetheart. You signed my forms." Noel's vision blurred. He remembered the hospital, the woman with the clipboard, the forms he'd barely read, too exhausted and terrified to understand what he was agreeing to. "You didn't tell him?" Vernon looked at Silas, amused. "Really? Get out," Silas said quietly. Vernon raised his hands in mock surrender. All right. Just wanted to make sure you knew what you were doing." He glanced at Noel one last time. "Enjoy your new family." He left. The door clicked shut. Noel couldn't breathe. Silas stood by the desk, silent. "He's the one who—" Noel's voice broke. He tried again. "He's the one who took me from—" "Yes. And you knew." Silas didn't deny it. Noel's hands shook. He looked down at the baby, then back at Silas. "What is this? What did you do?" "I kept him safe." "Safe?" Noel's voice cracked. "You work with the man who—" "I didn't know what Vernon was doing," Silas cut in. His voice was harder now. Not until I saw you in that hospital. And then what? You just decided to keep me? Silas's jaw tightened. I made sure you had somewhere to go. That's all. That's all. Noel stood, legs shaking. You took me out of one cage and put me in another. This isn't a cage. Then let me leave. Silas didn't answer. Noel's chest tightened. Let me leave, he said again. Where would you go? Anywhere. Anywhere but here. With no money, no ID, no one looking for you. Silas stepped closer. You'd last a week, maybe less. And then what happens to him? Noel flinched, because Silas was right, and they both knew it. You don't have to stay forever, Silas said quietly. Just until you're strong enough. Strong enough for what? To choose. Noel stared at him, at the face that gave nothing away. At the man who'd pulled him out of one nightmare and placed him gently into another. I hate you, Noel whispered. Silas nodded once. I know. The days blurred together. Noel stopped counting. He woke when the baby cried, fed him, changed him, rocked him back to sleep, ate when Marlene brought food, showered when his body forced him to. The room became smaller. He tried leaving once, made it as far as the staircase before Marlene appeared, asking if he needed something. Her tone was polite, but the question felt like a warning. He went back to the room. At night, he lay in bed and listened to the house settle. The creak of floorboards, the hum of the heating system, the distant sound of a door closing somewhere far below. Sometimes he heard Silas. Footsteps in the hallway, a low voice on the phone, the soft click of the office door. Silas never came to the room. Noel told himself he was relieved, but part of him, small, shameful, wondered why. 3 weeks in, the baby got sick. It started with fussiness, then a fever, then he wouldn't eat. Noel panicked. He tried everything, stripped the baby down to cool him, held him skin to skin, sang in a shaking voice until his throat hurt. Nothing worked. The baby's cry turned thin, weak. Noel ran to the door, yanked it open. Marlene! She appeared within seconds, took one look at the baby and pulled out her phone. Silas arrived 10 minutes later. He didn't ask questions. Just scooped the baby from Noel's arms and carried him downstairs. Noel followed, stumbling, terrified. A doctor was already in the house, waiting in the living room with a medical bag. Noel watched as the doctor examined the baby, took his temperature, listened to his breathing. Mild respiratory infection, the doctor said. Common in newborns. I'll prescribe antibiotics. Noel's knees buckled. Silas caught him before he hit the floor. He's fine, Silas said quietly. Noel couldn't speak, just nodded. Silas helped him sit, kept a hand on his shoulder until Noel stopped shaking. The doctor left instructions. Marlene took notes. The baby was given medicine and fell asleep in Silas's arms. Noel watched from the couch, too drained to move. Silas looked at him. When's the last time you slept? Noel didn't answer. Marlene, Silas said. Take the baby tonight. No, Noel said immediately. You need rest. I'm fine. You're not. Noel stood, swayed, forced himself steady. Give him back. Silas stared at him, then slowly handed the baby over. Noel took him, held him close, and walked back upstairs without another word. That night, Noel whispered to the baby. I'm sorry, he said softly. I'm sorry I can't give you more. I'm sorry I'm not enough. The baby slept, didn't hear. Noel closed his eyes, and for the first time in weeks, he cried. The next morning, Silas knocked. Noel opened the door, eyes red, face hollow. Silas looked at him for a long moment. Then he asked one question. What do you need? Noel's breath hitched, because no one had ever asked him that, and he didn't know how to answer. Silas started asking questions. Not demands, not orders, questions. Do you want the curtains open or closed? Do you prefer tea or coffee? Is the room too cold? At first, Noel didn't answer, didn't trust it. But Silas kept asking. And slowly, so slowly Noel didn't notice until it had already happened, he started answering. Open. I like the light. Tea. If it's not too much trouble. A little cold, but it's fine. Marlene brought a space heater the next day. Silas started spending more time in the house. Not hovering, not intrusive, just present. He'd sit in the living room in the evenings, reading or working on his tablet. If Noel came downstairs, Silas would glance up, nod, then go back to whatever he was doing. No pressure, no expectations. It was strange. One night, Noel sat on the couch with the baby asleep in his arms. Silas was across the room, scrolling through something on his phone. Why are you doing this? Noel asked. Silas looked up. Doing what? This. All of it. Silas set his phone down, leaned back in his chair. I told you. No. You told me what you think I want to hear. Noel shifted the baby carefully. But I want the truth. Silas was quiet for a long time. Then he said, I had a partner once. An Omega. His name was Daniel. Noel's breath caught. He died, Silas continued. His voice was flat, empty, and I couldn't stop it. I'm sorry, Noel whispered. Silas shook his head. Don't be. It wasn't your fault. Then why tell me? Silas looked at him, really looked at him. Because when I saw you in that hospital, I saw him, and I couldn't let it happen again. Noel's throat tightened. I'm not him. I know. Then why? Because you deserved better, Silas said quietly. And no one else was going to give it to you. Noel didn't know what to say to that, so he said nothing. They sat in silence. And for the first time since arriving, Noel felt something other than fear. He felt seen. The shift was small. Noel started leaving the room more, eating meals downstairs, sitting in the garden while the baby napped in a carrier strapped to his chest. Silas never followed, but he was always nearby, in the office, in the hallway, close enough to help if needed, far enough to give space. It should have felt suffocating, but it didn't. One afternoon, Noel found himself in the kitchen. Marlene was preparing dinner. She glanced at him, then nodded to the counter. You can help if you want, she said. Noel blinked. Really? Hands are hands. So Noel helped, chopped vegetables, stirred a pot, listened as Marlene hummed something low and rhythmic. Felt normal. He hated how much he craved that. Then Vernon came back. Noel was in the garden when he heard the voices. Loud, sharp. He moved closer to the house, heart pounding. Through the open window, he could hear them in the office. You're making a mistake, Vernon said. That's not your call. Silas's voice was cold. It is when it affects business. This has nothing to do with business. Vernon laughed. Everything you do has to do with business. Don't pretend otherwise. Silence. Then Vernon's voice again. Quieter now. People are talking, Silas. Saying you've gone soft. That you're losing your edge. Let them talk. That's not how this works. You know that. Get out, Vernon. Not until you listen. This Omega, the baby, is a liability. You need to let it go before it bites you. Noel's stomach turned. I said get out. You really want to throw everything away for some. The sound of a chair scraping. Footsteps. Then Vernon's voice, strained. All right, I'm leaving. The front door slammed. Noel stood frozen in the garden, the baby stirring against his chest, and he realized something that made his blood run cold. Silas hadn't saved him. Silas had claimed him, and that made him part of something far worse than he'd imagined. That night, Noel couldn't sleep. He paced the room, the baby awake and fussy. Noel tried to soothe him, but his hands were shaking too much. A soft knock at the door. Noel froze. It's me, Silas said. Noel opened the door. Silas stood in the hallway, still dressed, eyes tired. I heard him crying. He's fine. You're not. Noel looked away. I'm fine. Silas stepped into the room. Noel didn't stop him. I heard Vernon earlier. Noel said. Silas's expression darkened. I know. He called me a liability. He's an idiot. Is he wrong? Silas didn't answer right away, and that told Noel everything. You should have let me go, Noel whispered. At the hospital. You should have just walked away. I couldn't. Why not? Silas looked at him, and for the first time, Noel saw something break in his eyes. Because I'm selfish, Silas said quietly. And I wanted to believe I could fix something. You can't fix me. I know. Then what are you doing? Silas stepped closer. Close enough that Noel could see the faint scar above his eyebrow, the shadows under his eyes. I'm trying, Silas said. And I don't know if that's enough. The baby cried louder. Silas reached out slowly, carefully. Took the baby from Noel's arms, and he started to rock him. The baby quieted. Noel watched, throat tight, as the most dangerous man he'd ever met held his child like something precious. And he realized he was trapped. Not by the house, not by Silas's power, but by the terrifying, unbearable possibility that maybe, just maybe, Silas actually cared. The filing cabinet was locked. Noel found it by accident, tucked in the corner of Silas's office when he'd gone looking for Marlene. The dark metal gleamed under the desk lamp. 3 drawers, each with a small keyhole. His fingers hovered over the top drawer. He shouldn't. He knew he shouldn't. But Vernon's words from days ago still echoed in his skull. Liability. Let it go before it bites you. Noel pulled. Locked. He tried the second drawer. Then the third. All locked. Looking for something? Noel spun around, heart in his throat. Silas stood in the doorway. No anger on his face. Just that same unreadable calm that made Noel's skin crawl. Marlene said. Noel stammered. She's in the kitchen. Silas stepped into the room, closed the door behind him. You weren't looking for her. Noel's mouth went dry. I just wanted to know what you're hiding. From you. From everyone. Silas moved to the cabinet, pulled a key from his pocket, unlocked the top drawer and opened it. Inside were folders, dozens of them, each labeled with names Noel didn't recognize. Silas pulled one out, handed it to Noel. Read it, he said. Noel's hands trembled as he opened the folder. Inside were documents, medical records, intake forms, consent agreements, all stamped with the same logo, a stylized omega symbol wrapped in laurel leaves. Beneath it, small text, New Beginnings Initiative. The name on the file wasn't Noel's. It was someone named Kira Thompson. Age 19. Status: postpartum. Day 6. Placement: pending reassignment. Noel flipped through the pages. Birth certificate with no father listed. Custody transfer forms signed by someone named Dr. Langston Pierce. A court order terminating parental rights. Effective immediately. Who is she? Noel whispered. Someone like you, Silas said quietly. Noel looked up. Where is she now? Silas didn't answer. Noel's stomach turned. He opened another folder. Then another. Marcus Chin. Age 17. Postpartum. Day 2. Elijah Grant. Age 20. Postpartum. Day 9. Jasmine Rivera. Age 18. Postpartum. Day 4. All the same. All processed through the same initiative. All stripped of their children within days of giving birth. Noel's vision blurred. How many? 43, Silas said. That I know of. The folder slipped from Noel's hands. Papers scattered across the floor. You knew, Noel breathed. You knew this whole time. Not the whole time. Not until Vernon filed your intake. And then what? You decided to play hero with just me. Noel's voice cracked. What about them? What about the other 43? Silas's jaw tightened. I couldn't save all of them. But you could have tried. I did what I could. That's not enough. Noel's hands shook. You have power, money, influence. You could have stopped this. No, Silas said quietly. I couldn't. Why not? Silas turned away, walked to the window, stared out at the dark garden beyond. "Because I'm part of it," he said. The words hung in the air like smoke. Noel felt his knees weaken. What? The initiative, the program, the system that took these kids and separated them from their children. Silas's voice was flat, dead. "I funded it." Noel couldn't breathe. 5 years ago, Silas continued, I was approached by a coalition of business leaders. They wanted to address the Omega crisis, teen pregnancies, lack of resources, generational poverty. They pitched it as charity, a way to give vulnerable Omegas a fresh start. And you believed them. I wanted to believe them. Silas turned around. His eyes were hollow. I wrote the first check without reading the fine print. By the time I realized what they were actually doing, the system was already in place. Then you shut it down. I tried. Silas's voice hardened. I pulled my funding, threatened legal action, but the program had already expanded. Other investors stepped in. Government contracts were signed. It became too big to dismantle. So you just gave up. I withdrew. Quietly, kept my name off the donor lists, stopped attending board meetings. Silas looked at the scattered files on the floor, and I told myself that was enough. It wasn't. I know. Noel stared at the man in front of him, the man who'd pulled him from the hospital, given him shelter, kept his baby safe, the man who'd built the cage in the first place. Vernon still works for you, Noel said. Vernon works for the initiative, not me. But he answers to you. Silas didn't deny it. Noel felt something crack inside his chest. Why didn't you tell me? Because I'm a coward, Silas said simply. The honesty was worse than a lie. Noel bent down, started gathering the scattered papers. His hands moved automatically, mechanically, because if he stopped moving, he'd fall apart. What happens now? Noel asked. Silas was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, That's up to you. Noel looked up. What? You can leave. Right now. I'll arrange transport, money, documents. Somewhere far enough that they won't find you. Silas's voice didn't waver. Or you can stay, and we can try to fix this. Fix what? All of it. Noel's breath caught. How? I don't know yet, Silas admitted. But I have resources, access, information they think I've forgotten about. They'll destroy you. Probably. Then why would you do it? Silas looked at him, and for the first time, Noel saw something raw in his eyes. Something that looked almost like hope. Because 43 kids deserved better, Silas said quietly. And so did you. Noel stood there, papers clutched in his shaking hands, and felt the weight of the decision settle over him. He could run, take his baby and disappear, start over somewhere new, or he could stay, and fight a system designed to erase people like him. Both choices terrified him, but only one felt right. Noel looked down at the files in his hands, at the names of people he'd never met but understood completely. Then he looked at Silas. Where do we start? Noel asked, and for the first time in weeks, Silas almost smiled. But before either of them could say another word, the office door burst open. Vernon stood in the doorway, phone in hand, face red with rage. You arrogant fool, Vernon hissed. Do you have any idea what you've done? Silas stepped in front of Noel. Get out. Not until you fix this. Vernon held up his phone. On the screen was an email. Noel couldn't read it from where he stood, but he saw Silas's expression change. When did this go out? Silas asked. 20 minutes ago. To every board member, every investor, every government liaison attached to the initiative. Vernon's smile was vicious. Someone leaked internal files, donor lists, custody transfers, medical records. Noel's heart stopped. They're calling it trafficking, Vernon continued. Human rights violations, illegal adoption schemes. And your name is at the top of the donor list. Silas's face went pale. So here's what's going to happen, Vernon said, stepping closer. You're going to issue a statement. Deny everything. claim the files were fabricated, and you're going to make this Omega disappear before the press connects him to you. No, Silas said. Vernon laughed. Excuse me? I said no. Vernon's smile vanished. You don't get to say no. Not anymore. This isn't just about you. This is about everyone involved. And if you don't fall in line, they will bury you. Silas didn't move. Vernon's eyes narrowed. Fine. Then we'll do this the hard way. He pulled something from his jacket pocket. A court order. Emergency custody hearing. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Vernon dropped the paper on the desk. The state is removing the child pending investigation. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Noel's world tilted. No, he whispered. Vernon glanced at him. You should have stayed quiet, sweetheart. And then he walked out. The door slammed shut. Noel stood frozen, papers still clutched in his hands. As the reality crashed down around him, they were going to take his baby. And this time, even Silas couldn't stop them. What will Noel do now that the system is closing in? Will Silas risk everything to save him? Or will the truth destroy them both? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next in this powerful story. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and inspire others with your support. Your voice matters. The hearing room smelled like old carpet and fear. Noel sat in a wooden chair, the baby asleep in a carrier strapped to his chest. His leg bounced. He couldn't stop it. Across the room, a court-appointed attorney shuffled papers without looking at him. Silas sat 2 rows back, silent, watching. Vernon was somewhere in the building. Noel had seen him in the hallway earlier, smiling at people in expensive suits, shaking hands, playing the part of the concerned professional. The door at the front of the room opened. A woman entered, mid-40s, black robe, tired eyes. She sat behind the raised desk and opened a folder. Case number 47A, she said. Emergency custody review. Ashrin Minor. Noel's attorney stood. Your Honor, we're requesting a continuance. My client needs more time to prepare. Denied. The judge didn't look up. This is an emergency hearing. We proceed today. The attorney sat back down. The judge looked at Noel. Mr. Ashrin, do you understand why you're here? Noel's throat was too tight to answer. He nodded. The state has raised concerns about the minor child's current living situation, specifically questions regarding legal guardianship, appropriate housing, and the circumstances of your custody claim. I'm his mother, Noel managed. The judge's expression didn't change. Biologically, yes. Legally, that's what we're here to determine. A man in a gray suit stood from the other side of the room. Your Honor, the state has evidence that Mr. Ashrin's parental rights were voluntarily terminated at the time of birth. He signed consent forms acknowledging this. I didn't know what I was signing, Noel said. Ignorance of a contract doesn't invalidate it. I was in labor. I was alone. I was terrified. That doesn't change the legal standing. The judge held up a hand. Let's review the documents. Papers were passed forward. The judge read in silence. The room held its breath. Finally, she looked up. Mr. Ashrin, did you sign these intake forms? Noel looked at the papers, saw his signature at the bottom. Shaky, barely legible, but his. Yes, he whispered. And did anyone coerce you into signing? They told me I'd lose him if I didn't. That's not coercion. That's consequence. Noel's chest tightened. They lied to me. They said it was temporary. They said I'd get help. And did you receive help? Noel hesitated, because he had, just not from the people who promised it. Your Honor, the state attorney cut in. Mr. Ashrin is currently residing in the home of Silas Blackmoor, a private citizen with no legal relationship to the child or the mother. This arrangement was made outside official channels and raises serious concerns about the minor's welfare. The judge looked past Noel. Mr. Blackmoor, you're present? Silas stood. Yes, Your Honor. What's your relationship to Mr. Ashrin? I'm providing temporary housing. On what basis? Humanitarian grounds. The state attorney scoffed. Humanitarian grounds. Your Honor, Mr. Blackmoor is a known associate of Vernon Hale, the intake coordinator who originally processed Mr. Ashren's case. This arrangement reeks of impropriety. I severed ties with Vernon Hale weeks ago, Silas said evenly. Convenient timing. Your Honor, Silas continued. I'd like to submit evidence. The judge frowned. What kind of evidence? Silas pulled a folder from his briefcase, walked forward, handed it to the bailiff, who passed it to the judge. The judge opened it. Her expression shifted. What is this? She asked. Internal documents from the New Beginnings Initiative, Silas said. Donor lists, financial records, custody transfer files, all showing a pattern of coerced adoptions targeting vulnerable omegas. The state attorney stood quickly. Your Honor, this is a custody hearing, not an investigation into 43 cases, Silas interrupted. 43 minors processed through the same system, all within the last 5 years. All separated from their children under questionable circumstances. The room went still. The judge flipped through the pages. Her jaw tightened. Where did you get this? She asked. From my own records, Silas said. I was a donor to the initiative, and I've spent the last 3 weeks documenting every transaction. This is irrelevant, the state attorney snapped. We're here to determine the welfare of one child, not to litigate. It's entirely relevant, Silas said. His voice cut through the room like a blade. Because the state is using a system designed to strip parental rights as justification to remove a child from a stable home. Stable? The attorney laughed. He's living with a stranger. No income, no legal standing. No, he has housing, medical care, food, safety, which is more than your initiative ever provided. The judge raised her hand. Enough. Silence. She looked at Noel. Mr. Ashren, do you want to keep your child? Noel's voice broke. Yes. Are you capable of caring for him? I'm trying. That's not what I asked. Noel looked down at the baby, at the tiny face, peaceful in sleep, unaware of the fight happening around him. I don't know, Noel admitted, but I'm learning, and I won't stop trying. The judge was quiet for a long moment. Then she closed the folder. I'm ordering a full investigation into the New Beginnings Initiative. All custody cases processed through that program will be reviewed. She looked at the state attorney, including this one. The attorney's face went red. Your Honor, you can't. I just did. The judge turned to Noel. Mr. Ashren, temporary custody will remain with you pending the outcome of the investigation. However, you will be required to meet with a social worker weekly. Failure to comply will result in immediate removal. Noel's breath shuddered. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. This isn't over. The gavel struck. The hearing ended. Noel sat frozen in his chair as people filed out. The state attorney shot Silas a look that could kill. Vernon was nowhere to be seen. Silas walked over, stopped in front of Noel's chair. You okay? He asked quietly. Noel looked up at him, at the man who just risked everything. Why did you do that? Noel whispered. Because it was right. You'll lose everything. I know. Then why? Because some things matter more than power, Silas said. And for the first time, Noel believed him. But as they left the courthouse, Noel saw Vernon standing by a black car, watching, waiting, and he knew this wasn't over. Not even close. Outside, reporters were already gathering. Cameras flashed. Questions were shouted. Silas kept walking. Noel followed, head down, baby pressed close. They made it to the car, drove away in silence. But Noel's hands wouldn't stop shaking, because he'd won the battle. But the war had just begun. And somewhere in the city, 43 other stories were waiting to be told. Would the investigation bring justice, or would the powerful bury the truth? Will Noel and his baby finally find safety, or is this just the beginning of a bigger fight? Subscribe and turn on notifications to see what happens next. Share your thoughts in the comments and let others know they're not alone. Every voice creates change. The investigation moved fast. Too fast. Within 48 hours, news outlets picked up the story. Headlines screamed across every platform. Omega trafficking ring exposed. Elite initiative under fire. Dozens of families demand answers. Noel watched it unfold from Silas's living room. The baby in his arms. The television on mute. His face hadn't been shown. His name hadn't been released. But he felt exposed anyway. Silas was on the phone in the next room. He'd been on the phone for 2 days straight. Lawyers. Investigators. Journalists. His voice never rose. Never cracked. Just steady, relentless pressure. Marlene brought Noel tea. Set it on the table without a word. She'd been quieter since the hearing. Everyone had. The doorbell rang. Noel tensed. Marlene answered. A moment later, she returned with a woman in her 30s. Professional blazer. Kind eyes. She carried a folder. Mr. Ashran? I'm Teresa Grant. I'm the social worker assigned to your case. Noel stood slowly. Nice to meet you. Teresa smiled. Mind if we talk? They sat in the living room. Teresa pulled out a notepad. Asked questions. How was he feeling? Was the baby eating well? Did he have support? Noel answered carefully. Honestly. Kept his voice steady even when his hands shook. Teresa watched him closely. Not with suspicion. With something softer. You're doing better than most would, she said. I don't feel like I am. That's normal. Teresa made a note. Parenting is hard. Parenting under scrutiny is harder. Noel looked down at the baby. I just want him to be okay. He will be. You're making sure of that. Teresa asked about the house. About Silas. About the arrangement. Noel told the truth. That Silas had given him a place to stay. That he didn't know what would happen next. That he was scared but trying. Teresa nodded. Wrote more notes. I have to ask, she said gently. Do you feel safe here? Noel hesitated. Because the answer was complicated. Yes, he said finally. I do. Teresa studied him. Then closed her notepad. Okay. That's it. For now. She stood. I'll be back next week. Same time. If anything changes, call me. She handed him a card. Day or night. Noel took it. Thank you. Teresa paused at the door. You're stronger than you think, Noel. Don't forget that. And then she was gone. That night, Silas came home late. Noel was still awake, rocking the baby in the nursery. He heard the front door close. Footsteps on the stairs. A soft knock. Come in, Noel said. Silas entered. He looked exhausted. Tie loosened. Sleeves rolled up. He leaned against the doorframe. How'd it go with Teresa? He asked. Fine. She was nice. Good. Silence. Noel looked at him. You look terrible. Silas almost smiled. Thanks. When's the last time you slept? Can't remember. You need to rest. So do you. Noel shifted the baby to his other arm. I will. After he's asleep. Silas pushed off the doorframe. Walked over. Held out his hands. Noel hesitated. Then carefully passed the baby over. Silas took him with surprising gentleness. Started rocking. The baby's eyes fluttered but stayed closed. You're good at that, Noel said quietly. I had practice. Long time ago. With Daniel. Silas nodded. We talked about adopting. Before his voice caught. He cleared his throat. We never got the chance. Noel's chest ached. I'm sorry. Don't be. It was a long time ago. Doesn't make it hurt less. Silas looked at him. And in his eyes, Noel saw something raw. Something he'd been hiding for years. No, Silas said quietly. It doesn't. They stood in silence. The baby's breathing evened out. What happens now? Noel asked. The investigation continues. More files surface. More families come forward. And us. We wait. For what? To see if the system actually changes. Or if it just buries us deeper. Noel's stomach twisted. You think they'll come after you? They already are. 3 board members called today, threatened lawsuits, said I violated confidentiality agreements. Will you fight them? Silas looked down at the baby in his arms. Yes. Why? Because if I don't, nothing changes. And 43 kids stay lost. Noel's throat tightened. You could lose everything. I know. Then why? Because some fights are worth losing for, Silas said, and Noel understood. This wasn't about winning anymore. It was about doing what was right. Even if it cost everything. Silas handed the baby back. Their fingers brushed. Neither pulled away immediately. Get some sleep, Silas said softly. You too. Silas nodded. Turned to leave. Silas. He stopped. Thank you, Noel said. For everything. Silas looked back. And for just a moment, his expression softened. You don't have to thank me, he said. But Noel did. Because Silas had given him something no one else ever had. A choice. 2 weeks later, the first families were reunited. Noel watched the news coverage with his heart in his throat. A young Omega named Marcus Chun holding his daughter for the first time in 6 months. Tears streaming down his face. Reporters asking questions he couldn't answer through the sobs. More stories followed. Elijah Grant, Jasmine Rivera, Kira Thompson. One by one, the 43 became faces, voices, people, and the world finally paid attention. But not everyone was happy. Vernon Hale was arrested on fraud charges. His mugshot spread across every platform. He didn't look scared, just angry. 3 days later, he made bail. And the next morning, Noel received a message. Unknown number. This isn't over. You took everything from me. I'll make sure you lose everything too. Noel's hands shook as he showed Silas. Silas's face went dark. I'll handle it. How? Let me worry about that. But Noel couldn't stop worrying. Because Vernon wasn't the type to let things go. And Noel had a terrible feeling that the worst was still coming. That night, Silas hired private security. 2 guards stationed outside. Cameras installed at every entrance. Noel hated it, but he didn't argue, because his baby's safety mattered more than his pride. And as he lay in bed that night, listening to the house settle around him, Noel made a decision. He wasn't running anymore. Whatever came next, he'd face it. For his son. For the 43. For everyone who'd been silenced. Will Vernon strike back? Or will justice finally prevail? Can Noel and Silas protect what they've built? Or will the system crush them? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter. Drop a comment and share the story. Your support gives others strength to keep fighting. 6 months passed. The investigation closed with 17 arrests. Vernon Hale pleaded guilty to fraud, coercion, and trafficking. He got 8 years. The New Beginnings Initiative was dissolved. Donor lists were sealed. Families were compensated. The headlines moved on. But Noel's life kept changing. He sat in a small apartment now. 1 bedroom, clean, simple. His name on the lease. The first thing he'd ever owned that truly belonged to him. The baby, no longer so small, sat on a blanket on the floor, chewing on a plastic ring. He had a name now, Cameron. Noel had chosen it himself. No one told him he couldn't. Teresa still visited. Not as a social worker anymore. Just as someone who cared. She brought groceries sometimes. Helped with paperwork. Never asked for anything in return. Silas had made it possible. Set up a trust fund. Paid first and last month's rent. Connected Noel with job training programs. But he'd done it all quietly. Without expectation. And then he'd stepped back. Noel hadn't seen him in 3 months. He told himself it was for the best. That distance was necessary. That they'd both needed space to heal. But some nights, when Cameron was asleep and the apartment felt too quiet, Noel wondered what Silas was doing. If he thought about them. If he regretted any of it. Noel had tried to reach out once. Sent a text message. Just 2 words. Thank you. Silas had responded hours later. You deserved better. I'm glad you found it. That was all. Noel hadn't written back. What could he say? That he missed the safety of that house? That he hated himself for missing it? That some part of him still wondered if Silas had saved him or just postponed the inevitable. Cameron babbled. Noel looked down, smiled despite the ache in his chest. "You're okay," he whispered. "We're okay." And they were. Mostly. Noel had a job now, part-time at a community center. It didn't pay much, but it was steady. Honest. He worked with other young parents, taught classes on budgeting, childcare, how to navigate systems designed to fail you. He was good at it, because he'd lived it. One afternoon, a new person showed up to class. A girl, 17, pregnant, scared. Noel saw himself in her eyes. "It's okay," he told her gently. "You're not alone," she cried. Noel stayed after class, listened, gave her Teresa's number, made sure she had resources, support, a voice. It wasn't enough to fix everything, but it was something. On Cameron's first birthday, Noel threw a small party. Just Teresa, a few people from the community center. Cameron smashed cake into his hair and laughed. It was perfect. Noel took pictures, posted them online, captioned it, "1 year of learning how to be brave." The comments flooded in. Support, love, stories from other parents who understood. And then, buried in the replies, one comment stood out. "He's beautiful. You should be proud." No name, no profile picture. But Noel knew. His chest tightened. He stared at the screen for a long time, typed a response, deleted it, typed again. Finally, he just wrote, "Thank you." The comment disappeared an hour later, but Noel knew Silas had seen it, and that was enough. That night, after Cameron was asleep, Noel stood by the window, looked out at the city lights, thought about everything that had led him here. The hospital, the fear, the baby with no name, the man who'd saved him and broken him and taught him that survival wasn't the same as living. He thought about the 43, about Marcus and Elijah and Jasmine and Kira, about all the people still fighting, still healing, still learning that they deserved more. And he thought about Silas, who'd funded the system that hurt him, who'd dismantled it to save him, who'd given him freedom and then walked away so Noel could choose his own path. It wasn't a happy ending, but it was an honest one, and maybe that mattered more. Noel pulled out his phone, stared at Silas's contact. His thumb hovered over the call button. He didn't press it. Instead, he wrote a message. Long, messy, everything he'd wanted to say for months. "I don't know if I'll ever forgive you for being part of what hurt me, but I also don't know if I'd be here without you. You gave me a choice when no one else would. And I hate that it came from someone who helped build the cage in the first place. But I'm grateful anyway. I'm raising my son. I'm fighting for others. I'm learning to be whole. And I wanted you to know that. Not because I owe you, but because it's true. I hope you're finding your own way to heal. Maybe one day we'll cross paths again. Maybe not. Either way, thank you. For seeing me when I was invisible. For believing I was worth saving. Even when you didn't deserve to be the one to do it." He read it 3 times, then deleted it, because some things didn't need to be said. They just needed to be felt. Noel looked back at Cameron's crib, at the baby who'd become a person, who smiled now, who reached for him with trust in his eyes. And Noel knew he'd made the right choice, to stay, to fight, to build something new from the ashes. The road ahead was still uncertain. But for the first time in his life, Noel wasn't afraid of it. He was ready. 1 year later, will Noel and Silas meet again? Has the fight for justice truly ended? Or is there more to come? Subscribe and turn on notifications for the final chapter. Comment below and share your thoughts. Your voice helps others feel less alone. Together, we create change. The park was crowded. Families spread across the grass. Kids chased each other near the playground. Dogs barked. Someone's music played too loud from a portable speaker. Noel sat on a bench, watching Cameron toddle across the grass. 2 years old now, confident, curious. He stopped every few steps to pick up a stick or poke at the dirt. "Careful," Noel called out. Cameron looked back, grinned, kept going. Noel smiled. Let him explore. It had taken a long time to get here. 2 years of therapy. Support groups. Hard conversations with himself about what he deserved and what he'd survived. Learning to parent without fear. Learning to exist without waiting for everything to collapse. He still had bad days. Days when he woke up and checked the locks 3 times. Days when he avoided crowds because too many eyes felt like judgment. Days when he looked at Cameron and wondered if he was enough. But most days were good now. He had a better job. Full-time. Benefits. Working with an advocacy group that helped young Omega parents navigate legal systems. He testified sometimes. Spoke at panels. Told his story so others wouldn't feel alone. It was exhausting, but it mattered. Cameron squealed. Noel looked up. The toddler had found a dandelion. He held it up like treasure. "Good job, buddy," Noel called. Cameron blew on it. Seeds scattered. Noel's chest warmed. He pulled out his phone. Checked messages. Nothing urgent. Just a reminder about next week's court date. Another family being reunited. Another win. 43 had become 60, then 80, then more. The system was changing. Slowly. Too slowly. But changing. And Noel was part of that. He put his phone away. Watched Cameron chase the dandelion seeds. "Excuse me." Noel looked up. A man stood nearby. Tall. Older than Noel remembered. Gray starting at his temples. Tired eyes. But the same sharp jaw. Same presence. Silas. Noel's breath caught. They hadn't spoken in over a year. Hadn't seen each other since that last hearing. Noel had moved on. Built a life. Stopped checking his phone for messages that never came. But seeing him now, solid, real, standing 3 feet away, made everything rush back. "Hi," Silas said quietly. Noel couldn't speak. Cameron ran over. Crashed into Noel's legs. "Dada, look." He held up another dandelion. Noel bent down. Took it. "That's beautiful, Cam." Cameron beamed. Then noticed Silas. The toddler tilted his head. Studied him with the intense focus only small children had. "Who that?" Cameron asked. Noel's throat tightened. He looked at Silas. Then back at Cameron. "An old friend," Noel said. Silas's expression flickered. Something soft. Wounded. Cameron lost interest. Ran back toward the grass. Noel stood. Faced Silas fully. "What are you doing here?" Noel asked. "Walking. I come here sometimes." "This isn't your neighborhood." "No, it's not." They stood in silence. The park noise filled the space between them. "He's beautiful," Silas said finally. "Cameron, how did you?" "I've kept track. From a distance. Just to make sure you were okay." Noel's chest tightened. "You didn't have to do that." "I know." "Then why?" Silas looked away. Watched Cameron toddle across the grass. "Because I needed to know you made it. And now you do." "Yeah, now I do." Silence again. Noel searched for words. For anger. For resentment. For anything that made sense. But all he felt was tired. "How are you?" Noel asked. Silas's smile was small. Said, "I'm getting by." "That's not an answer. It's the only one I have." Noel studied him. Saw the exhaustion in his posture. The weight he carried. "You lost everything, didn't you?" Noel said quietly. Silas didn't deny it. "Most of it." "Do you regret it?" "No. Even though it cost you." "No," Silas repeated. His voice was firm. "I don't regret it." Noel looked down. At the dandelion Cameron had given him. "I wanted to hate you," Noel admitted. "For a long time I did. You had every right. But I don't anymore." Noel looked up. Met Silas's eyes. "I don't know what I feel. But it's not hate." Silas nodded slowly. "That's more than I deserve." "Maybe. Maybe not." Noel took a breath. "You were part of what hurt me." But you were also the reason I survived. And I don't know how to hold both of those things at the same time. You don't have to. I want to. Silas looked at him, really looked at him, and for the first time Noel saw him clearly. Not as the man who'd saved him, not as the man who'd built the system that broke him, just as someone broken too, trying to be better. I'm glad you're okay, Silas said quietly. That's all I needed to know. He turned to leave. Wait, Noel said. Silas stopped. Noel didn't know what he wanted to say, didn't know if there were words for this. But he knew he didn't want Silas to disappear. Not like this. Maybe, Noel hesitated. Maybe we could get coffee sometime. Talk. Silas's eyes widened slightly. You don't owe me that. I know, but I'm not offering because I owe you. I'm offering because I want to. Why? Because healing isn't linear, and closure doesn't mean cutting people out. It means making peace with the mess. Noel looked at Cameron, then back at Silas. And I think maybe we both deserve a chance to figure out what that looks like. Silas was quiet for a long time. Then slowly he nodded. Okay. They exchanged numbers, made tentative plans. Nothing firm, nothing binding, just a possibility. Silas left after that, walked across the park and disappeared into the crowd. Noel watched him go, then turned back to Cameron, who was rolling in the grass now, laughing at nothing. Noel smiled, sat down beside him, and for the first time in 2 years he felt something close to peace. Not because everything was fixed, but because he'd learned that home wasn't a place someone gave you. It was something you built for yourself. One choice at a time, one breath at a time, one moment of choosing to keep going. And that was enough. Thank you for watching this story of survival, courage, and the long road to healing. If this touched you, please subscribe and turn on notifications. There are more powerful stories coming that need to be heard. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Your voice creates hope for others walking the same path. Together, we break the silence and build something better.